All right. Today we are talking about exterior angle theorem. Okay, well, whenever we're talking about a theorem, it just means a theory, something that's been proved, a fact in math. Okay, so our exterior angle theorem for a triangle states, okay, so let's go ahead and just define this guy right now. The exterior angle of that triangle that we'll talk about in a little bit is equal to the two interior angles. Okay, so the exterior angle is equal to the two interior angles added together. Okay, so if we look at number 1, so let's zoom in here a little bit. So first let's find our exterior angle. Well, our exterior angle is this guy right here. Okay, so our theorem states that this guy in purple is equal to these guys added together. Okay, so it's equal to 60 plus 64. Okay, well, let's see why that's true. So we have 60 plus 64. First of all, let's see what that's actually going to be. Okay, so we have 60 plus 64, and that's going to give us 124. Okay, so technically, this angle should be 124. Okay, well, let's see why that's true. Well, if we were to add this purple angle to this third guy right here, remember all three angles of a triangle equal 180. Remember that triangle always equals 180 degrees. Okay, well then this guy would mean, so let's just call him x. X plus 24 would be that third angle. Okay, so we have 180 minus 124. Let's just figure out what that other interior angle is. So we have 180 minus 124. It's going to give us 56. So this guy, this third angle, is 56. Okay, well, if we were to add all three of these guys together now, 56 plus 60 plus 64, that does give us 180. Okay, so two ways of thinking about it. The whole triangle equals 180, but then this straight line is equal to 180, and that's why these two angles added together is equal to that exterior angle. Okay, so the only thing we're looking for is that exterior angle though, 124. Okay, so let's try it again on number 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and identify our exterior angle that we're looking for. It's this guy right here. Okay, that means that that guy is equal to this guy, 21, plus 66. Okay, so we have 21 plus 66 is going to give us that exterior angle. And what is that going to be? We have, let's clear it out, 21 plus 66 is going to give us 87 degrees. So we know that that exterior angle has to equal 87 degrees. And there we go. Okay, let's try it one more time. Number 3, actually not one more time, a couple more times. Okay, so number 3, this guy looks a little different. So in this one, it actually gives us our exterior angle. And what we're looking for is one of our interior angles. Okay, well now we're just gonna go backwards. Okay, usually we equaled our exterior angle, so let's just go backwards. So we have 140 is equal to 120 plus this question mark, which we'll just call x. 120 plus x. Well, now it's just an equation, right? We know how to solve equations. So let's go ahead. To get x by itself, we have to get rid of 120. Well, what's the opposite of 120? We subtract 120, or negative 120. So x is equal to 140 minus 120, which is going to give me 20. So in this case, we actually weren't looking for the exterior angle, but the exterior angle helped us find one of our interior angles, which was 20 degrees. Awesome. So let's try that again. Okay, so in number 4, same thing. It actually gives us the exterior angle right there. Exterior meaning it's on the outside of the triangle. Okay, and what we're looking for is one of our interior angles, that question mark, which we'll just label as X. Okay, so now we can think of it as our exterior angle. 60 is equal to these guys added together, X plus 24. So these two angles, X plus 24, has to give us our exterior angle of 60. Okay, so now we can go ahead and just solve for X. Well, if I'm trying to get X by itself, the only thing I have to get rid of is plus 24. What's the opposite of plus 24? Subtract 24 from both sides. So we get X is equal to 60 minus 24, which I'm going to double check on my calculator, is going to give me 36. So that X, that missing degree, was 36 degrees. Perfect. Alrighty, let's look at number 5. Okay, so again, what is it giving us? What are we trying to find? Okay, well, it's giving us our exterior angle, 160, and one of our interior angles, 95, which means we're trying to find our other one, which we're going to label as X again. Okay, so we have 160 is our exterior angle, and that's equal to our two interior angles added together, which is 95 plus X. Okay, now we can go ahead and solve the equation, solve for X to try and get that interior angle. Okay, well, the only thing I have to get rid of is this plus 95 or a positive 95. Well, what's the opposite of a positive or plus 95? We subtract 95 from both sides. So we get X is equal to, and I'm going to do this in my calculator, 160 minus 95, and that gives me 65. So we know that that interior angle we were looking for was 65 degrees. Perfect. Okay, now that kind of leads us perfectly into our next section. So now it's actually asking us to solve for X. Okay, so we're not actually trying to find these angles, but notice we have a bunch of X's mixed in there. Okay, so in order to solve for X, we have to know what these angles are. Okay, so there's a couple ways we can actually set this up. Okay, so again, look at what it's giving us in number 6. It's giving us our exterior angle, which is 120, and then our two interior angles, we don't know their degrees, but we know that they're equal. If we added these two up, they equal 120. So that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to write the whole equation. Okay, so that whole piece. So I have 4x plus 14. That's my first interior angle. Plus my second interior angle, negative 2 plus 8x. And I just put parentheses because we have a plus minus right there. Okay, and we know it's all equal to, I'm going to run out of room here, that's okay, 120. Okay, so if you remember, in order to solve an equation, this is like a really long math expression on this side, but we need to combine like terms in order to start getting rid of things to get X by itself. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. Okay, so I can combine my X's. I have 4x and plus 8x. Well, 4 plus 8 of those is going to give me 12x's. Okay, then I can combine positive 14, and if I'm adding a negative, that really just means I'm subtracting. So 14 minus 2 gives me positive 12. Okay, and again, it's still all equal to that exterior angle of 120. Okay, so now it looks a lot shorter. We can actually go ahead and start solving it now. So, if we just look at our side with our variable, I have a times by 12 and an add 12 that I got to get rid of. First thing I got to get rid of is the add 12, so we're going to subtract 12 from each side. So I get 12x is equal to 120 minus 12, I believe. I'm just double checking. 120 minus 12 on my calculator is 108. Okay, and we're almost done. Okay, we have one more thing we got to get rid of. We got to get rid of times by 12. Well, the opposite of times by 12 is divide by 12. So divide by 12 on both sides. We get x is equal to 108 divided by 12. Gives me 9. Okay, so notice we actually never even found out, what these two angles equal to, meaning their degrees. They're just looking like little equations right now. But we use those equations, set it equal to the exterior angle like we know they are, in order to solve for x. We got x equals 9. Beautiful. Okay, let's look at number 7. Ooh, this one's a little different. So again, we have our two interior angles. Okay, it's that guy and then my little equation. And then I actually have my exterior angle, which has an x in it. So we actually don't know what our exterior angle equals in terms of its degrees, but that's okay. We're still going to set it up the exact same way. So I have my two interior angles added together. So I have 40 plus that whole little equation. I'm going to put parentheses just because I have a little negative right there. Negative 10 plus 11x. Okay, and now what is it equal to? Well, it still equals my exterior angle. It just now is 14x. Okay, so we have x's on both sides. We have like terms we need to combine. So let's go ahead and just combine our like terms over here, and then we'll worry about getting all of our x's on one side. Okay, well, my only like terms I can combine over here are 40 and negative 10. So I have 40 subtract 10, which is going to give me 30. Okay, I can't combine the 11x with anything on that side, so it just stays 11x, and it still equals 14x. So all we did was combine that 40 minus 10 to give me 30. Okay, well now I need to move my x's all to one side. If you remember, I like moving the lower amount or the smaller amount of x's, which is going to be my 11. So the opposite of plus 11x is subtract 11x. Okay, so I have 30 left on this side equals 14x minus 11x is 3x. Okay, we're almost done. The last thing I need to do to get my x all by itself is divide by that 3, because the opposite of times by 3 is divide by 3. So we divide by 3, that gets rid of it. So we have x is equal to 30 divided by 3 is 10. And there we go. Okay, if we wanted to figure out what the degree actually is for our exterior angle and this guy with our x, we could take 10, plug it in, and solve, but it's just asking us to find x. So we're done. Beautiful. Okay, let's do that one more time. So we got some x's in here. So let's identify our two interior angles. It gives me 50 degrees. And then this little equation for my interior angles. And then it gives me this whole equation for my exterior angle. Okay, but we set it up the exact same way. So interior angles added together equals exterior angles. So I have 50 plus 4x minus 8, that whole piece. And it's all equal to my exterior angle, which is 8x plus 6, that whole piece. Alrighty, so I have x's on both sides. I can combine some like terms. So let's just go ahead and start on my green side and combine some like terms. Okay, my only like terms I can combine are 50 minus 8, right? I can't combine the 4x because they don't have an x. So this turns into 42 plus 4x equals, and I can't combine anything over there, so it's just going to stay 8x plus 6. So now I see that I have x's on both sides. I have 4x and an 8x, so I need to move them. Okay, so I like moving the smaller one. The smaller one is 4. So the opposite of plus 4x minus 4x, that moves it to this side. I can only combine it with the x, right? Like terms. So I have 42 is equal to 8x minus 4x is 4x plus 6. All right, now my x's are all on one side. That means I can start solving. I can start getting rid of things. Well, the first thing I got to get rid of, right, if I have a times by 4 and a plus 6, the first thing I got to get rid of is the plus 6. So what's the opposite of plus 6? Subtract 6 from both sides. I'm going to bring it over here so we have some more room. 42 minus 6 is, let me just double check this. 42 minus 6, I believe, is 36. Yep. So we have 36, and it equals 4x. Okay. Now, the last thing I got to get rid of is times by 4. Well, the opposite of times by 4 is divide by 4. Okay, so I have x is equal to 36 divided by 4, which gives me 9. X is all by itself, so I know x equals 9. Beautiful. So we know the two interior angles added together will give us that exterior angle. We can do it with an equation, or we can just do it with degrees. Perfect. Those are your notes. You have an assignment that goes with it.